Croeserw Primary School is situated in the most deprived ward in the local authority. We have a free school meal average of 58% and we have 48% of our pupils on the ALN register. Our school is made up of 5 mainstream classes and we have 2 classes which offer 18 designated places for pupils with moderate to severe learning difficulties. Our ICT story begins with the school's last testing inspection. Following the inspection, there was a period of change in our school, and in 2010, ICT became one of the main areas of development in the school development plan. Just like other schools, our investment in ICT hardware has been governed by budgetary constraints. However, as a school, we knew that we needed to harness the power of ICT to improve standards not only in ICT, but in other areas too, and especially in literacy. Standards in literacy in our school have traditionally been below both local and national averages. The children have very poor oracy skills when they join our nursery class. We know it's only by raising aspirations that we will improve achievement. With the full support of our governing body, we invested heavily in purchasing new hardware and resources. We found out what other more successful schools were using to enhance their curriculum and made the same investment for our school. We were keen to embrace technology, but realised its use had to be purposeful. Our aim has been to create a learning environment that is motivating, engaging and inspiring. ICT is now used to promote learning across the curriculum. We've found that the creative use of technology motivates our pupils. They're more actively engaged in their own learning, and it's allowing the children to take control of their learning. End of Key Stage 2 results in English went up from 54% in 2010 to 80% in 2011. We appreciate that this improvement is not all down to the improvements we've made in ICT, but ICT is now routinely used to support and enhance our pupils' learning. Use of portable technology in particular has given some pupils the opportunity to shine when previously they were known as the ones to disrupt lessons and regularly displayed poor levels of concentration. ICT is not an extra in our school, it's very much an integral part of the teaching and learning that takes place every day in Croeserw Primary. We now use ICT systems to track our pupils. Data is all electronically stored and it's used by teachers to inform their planning. Parents are also more engaged. They're keen to hear of the developments that we are making through the use of ICT. They're able to keep in touch with us through our new school website, through our use of Twitter and our text and parent services. Our journey thus far has not been an easy one. However, our use of third millennium technology has had a significant impact on our school. It's been exciting for both staff and pupils as we've all been learners together.
Over the last 2 years, I've been working very closely with our e-learner to drive ICT across our school. After our inspection in 2008, we knew that ICT was only satisfactory and we needed to do something to raise standards. Unfortunately, our main problem was it was a lack of resources and a lack of funding, and because we didn't have the resources, it was really impossible to raise standards in ICT. But really, the turning point for us came with the arrival of the Owls project, where we became part of the One Wales laptop project through the Welsh Assembly Government. We were one of only 2 schools chosen in the whole of Neath Patolbat, and this enables us to have 30 netbooks, a netbook charging trolley and 2 wireless hubs. In the beginning, we had huge problems because the children didn't have any knowledge really at all of using computers or netbooks in particular. Their keyboard skills were really, really poor, and you would be lucky if they could type maybe 2 words in a minute. Things like opening and saving documents would require one-to-one support. This was a 9-month trial, and through this time we completed various assessments to assess their typing speeds, and to be honest, I couldn't believe the difference that this 9-month period had made for the children. Things like working independently on the computers, searching for work, opening and closing documents, saving their work, emailing, they could now do all independently. But more importantly than that, I think, it was a very important tool for peer and self-assessment. The children weren't willing really to have any help at all if they were working on something using a pen and a piece of paper. But with using the netbooks, they would all of a sudden ask each other for help and support, and they were willing to critique each other's work and offer advice on how they could change maybe the font and the layout of the document just to improve their work. We've now purchased some iPads, an Apple TV, an iMac, a screen for the hall and a TV for our school foyer as well. And I can see that ICT is actually going from strength to strength at the moment. The iPads have been based predominantly in Year 5 and 6, where we've been using various apps. The children now in my class are actually working with children further down the school, such as the nursery and reception, on apps such as My Story to help them to promote their literacy now using ICT, and this has proved to be very successful so far. Boys in particular, I've seen a huge difference, particularly with their attitude to literacy and writing and their ideas. When they can see something on the screen, this definitely helps them to concentrate and focus more during lessons, and it has also impacted on attendance, and the children ensure they're in school every day because they are afraid they're going to miss something.
I'm a teaching assistant in Croeserw Primary School. I've seen a huge difference in the last 2 years, particularly with regards to ICT. I have a very keen interest in ICT, and I've recently been made the school's e-learner to help promote the use of technology throughout the school. I am very much the school's troubleshooter for ICT. I have been running after school ICT club for the last year. This was initially set up to enhance the children's skills, as many of them do not have computers at home. However, the majority of the children who stay are the ones who have the use of computers or laptops at home, and they are keen to extend their skills, and we've been learning together using the netbooks and the iPad. Over the last 18 months, I've spent a lot of time developing our school website on the Learning Gateway. I've worked in different classes in the school with various members of staff to help them develop their class pages. I work hard to keep the website up to date so that it provides information for pupils, parents and the wider community. Since the arrival of the iPads in the second half of the summer term, my role has been busier than ever. I've been working closely with the ICT coordinator to get the iPads up and running. I've been responsible for downloading and updating the apps, transferring the work from the iPads to the central location and troubleshooting any problems. It has been quite a challenge, as I haven't worked with Apple technology before.
As a parent, I've seen huge changes in ICT over the last 2 years. My daughter was in Year 6 when the school first had the netbooks, and I saw a big difference in her attitude towards technology. She became interested in computers, what they could do, and how they could help her with her work. I now have a little boy in reception, and I can see that the technology is filtered down through the school. He has access to an interactive whiteboard, a digital camera, iPads and the listening centre. He enjoys coming to school and has a keen interest in ICT. It has definitely helped him with his phonic work, his letter and number formation, as well as him focusing on with his concentration and interest. He says school is fun.
The pupils in the unit have moderate to severe learning difficulties, a few of whom have been diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder. In both classes, the pupils have the same opportunities to use ICT as mainstream pupils, and they show the same enthusiasm. ICT has been a powerful tool to enhance the children's learning and develop their language and communication skills. For the children with ASD, it is a stimulus that immediately grabs their attention and allows them to focus on tasks for far longer. The fact that many of the ICT-related tasks are interactive benefits those that need a more visual, auditory or kinesthetic approach to their learning. For many of the children with learning difficulties, concentration is a problem, but we've noticed that when using the netbooks or iPads, children will stay on task for much longer. They become less reliant on adult intervention or supervision. This is quite the opposite to when they are undertaking written tasks with pencil and paper method, which they find a lot more challenging and time-consuming. ICT supports their language development in numerous ways.
Literacy has historically been an area of concern for us, and it is an area on which ICT has had a positive impact in a relatively short period of time. To illustrate this, data for a year group of 12 children show that in 1 year, reading ages increased by an average of 2 years and 3 months. NFER progress in English standardised scores increased by an average of 6 points. NFER group reading standardised scores increased by an average of 13 points. Single word spelling standardised scores increased by an average of 7 points. As a class teacher and a deputy head teacher, I am convinced that ICT has played a major role in providing our children with opportunities to develop confidence in their own ability, to use and to understand language. The knock-on effect is that all other subject areas have and will continue to reap the benefits.